Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome to the channel if it's your first time checking us out here. It's 2023 already, I can't believe this. So today we're gonna give you some quick predictions for the Colorado Springs area in 2023. All right, like I said, we're going to talk about just some quick predictions for what we think is going to happen here in the Colorado Springs area in 2023. We've got a lot of great information to pass on to you guys in the next coming videos over the next month or two, but I wanted to give you just some of my real quick predictions right off the bat, kind of based on a couple different topics. Number one, economic growth. I think this is a huge bonus for Colorado Springs just compared to the rest of the country right now is the economy here in the Colorado Springs area is growing, and it's not just growing with service-based jobs or kind of maybe like those mid-level or lower-level wage jobs. We're also growing with a lot of high-end, $100K plus, $100,000 a year plus jobs in especially the tech industry, aerospace industry, defense contracting. Those industries, the defense contracting, aerospace has been here for a little while, definitely the defense contracting portion of it, but we're starting to see some new business come in with tech as well. So there's probably about 3 or 4 major companies that have announced that they are going to be bringing a location here or expanding their location currently in Colorado Springs. And I went through the numbers, and over the next couple of years, it's thousands of jobs. It's definitely more than 1,000 jobs. One of the companies was 900 jobs in the next 3 to 4 years, I believe is what they said. So when we look at all the economic growth, it's great across all levels of, I guess, kind of wage level, if you will. The new Amazon facility continues to expand. So there's just a lot of really good news about businesses coming to Colorado Springs. It has a lot of the pros of a large city, proximity to Denver, major airport, but overall cost of living is a little bit lower. The city's doing a great job of offering quality tax incentives to companies to bring their business here. So anyway, all that to say, a lot of economic growth in the Colorado Springs, Pikes Peak area. And I think that's going to continue for years to come. And it's definitely going to result in thousands of new jobs, and a majority of those jobs being high value or high wage jobs as well. So good news there. So after the economy piece, the next thing, and this is most locals know it for sure, but there's going to be a change of leadership within Colorado Springs. Colorado Springs mayor is currently Mayor Struthers. He's going to be termed out, so he's maxed out. I think he's done 2 terms now, so he's maxed out. He can't run again. I think he's done a really good job for the city with a lot of growth in a good way across the city, a lot of downtown revitalization, and just really kind of doing things in a quality manner that is focused on making sure that current citizens in Colorado Springs have a quality way of life, and then also the city is growing in a good way so we can accept more people and have more people move to Colorado Springs. So there's several different people. Gosh, I think I looked the other day. I think there were about 7 different people that had said they were going to run for mayor after this year. I don't know exactly when the election is, but there's everyone from folks that have been El Paso County commissioners that have worked in the mayor's office, local business folks that have been entrepreneurs in the area. So a lot of variety, a lot of different folks are running for that position, but that'll be a change. Hopefully I won't say it'll be a good change. It's not that it's been bad so far here over the last several years, but it will be a little bit of a change, and hopefully we stay on a great trajectory that we've been on with just quality growth in the area and the city really trying to just kind of work through some growing pains of a city that's now, over 500,000, Colorado Springs proper, and then El Paso County greater area, 700,000 now. So a really quickly growing area. There's obviously growing pains that go with that. So I'm hopeful that the next leadership definitely continues to focus on those pain points and continue to do a good job, lead us forward. So we're going to have a new mayor. That's the bottom line up front there. We talked about development, kind of growth of the city a little bit. Another one is concerns over future development. So this is kind of all across the state of Colorado, but definitely here in Colorado Springs, we're feeling it too. There's a lot of concern in Colorado about the amount of water availability for, continued growth. There's definitely water available for growth. It's just kind of how much growth and how much water. That's kind of where the argument comes up. Here locally in Colorado Springs, the Pikes Peak area, there's 2 projects that come to mind right off the top of my head. One of them is Flying Horse North. You may have heard us talk about, if you watched other videos, about a community called Flying Horse. Golf course community, beautiful community on the north side of town, higher price point homes. It's a wonderful community. The same developer has developed another community called Flying Horse North, which is actually just north of that, if you can imagine. And it's on the edge of the Black Forest. So a lot of it is open kind of prairie land, but then a lot of the development is in trees as well in the thick pine forest. So there was a plan that was come up with that was approved. Homes are started to be built, et cetera, et cetera. Now the developer has requested to change the plan to make a portion of the lots much smaller, kind of like a normal subdivision. They were typically like 2.5 to 5 acre lots throughout all of Flying Horse North. And then also to put in, there's another 18-hole golf course in Flying Horse North as well. So they want to build, I say hotel, I don't know if a resort probably is the better description of it, a resort place there as well with the clubhouse and the golf course. So there's been a lot of pushback for local folks in the Black Forest area, but long story short, it looks like the county commissioners are going to sign off on that. And I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but I know there's been talk of that portion actually being annexed into Colorado Springs so that Colorado Springs could provide utility services for Flying Horse North. So that's been a little bit of a, I guess, kind of just a back and forth frustration for some people. Some people are obviously very happy about it. But that's one of the development concerns that people have had here recently. And then the other one, this is probably the biggest one, is there's a community far south side of Colorado Springs. Actually, it's right up against what is Fountain, which is actually a separate town. It kind of joins into the south side of Colorado Springs. But this development, it's a bunch of land. It's about 3,500 acres. It's owned by La Plata Communities Development. It's a local developer. And the name of it is Amara is the name of that planned development. It'll be over 9,000 houses when it's all said and done. So there's talk about annexing that 3,000 plus acres into Colorado Springs. There's something they call a flag annexation, where they kind of make a narrow strip of, through easements that connects to it, and then they can annex it into the city. But the big thing is providing utilities for all those homes. So then we got to go back to the water issue that a lot of folks are concerned about in Colorado. Like I said, plenty of water for everybody that's here, and like the developments are being planned, but that's a big one. We're talking 9,000 plus homes. So there's just a lot of talk of, hey, how are we going to support that? Can we support that right now from the Colorado Springs utilities point of view? So those are two developments that are those are just two examples, I should say, of development in the area. And really the city and the county, they're trying to really work through these proposed developments in a smart way to make sure that we don't expand too fast, that infrastructure is in place so that it provides a quality way of life for anybody that may live in that development in the future. So there's a lot of development in the area because of the amount of growth, and I think we're trying to do it in a smart way. Hopefully that continues to be the case moving forward. So some development definitely upcoming here in the new year. I think this next one's pretty exciting. Folks who've watched the videos or know me know that I'm a big outdoors person, so I love to get outside. And here locally, we have it's a tax-funded program. I guess program's the right word. It's called TOPS. It's Trails, Open Space, and Parks. And it's all local, so it's local taxes that provide funding for local park systems. So there's a lot of projects that are underway right now with those TOPS funds. And the reason it's kind of become a little bit of not a hot topic, but just a topic of discussion lately, is because that funding for TOPS actually sunsets in 2023. I think it'll be on the ballot, and I think it'll probably get renewed. It's a great program. But just some of the open spaces that are going to get expanded. Blodgett Peak open space on the northwest side of Colorado Springs is going to be expanded. And then there's another one on the southwest side of town. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but that open space is going to be expanded. And then the intent is to have a trail that goes along the west side, the foothills of Colorado Springs, from the far north side of the springs to the far south side of the springs. So the expansion of those open spaces, that's a big one that TOPS funding is going to right now. There's another one on the east side, out east. It's called Coral Bluffs, I believe is the name of it. It's a project that's been in the works for quite a while. They just kind of keep purchasing more land and more land. So it's a pretty good chunk. And now they're talking about developing it into kind of more of an official park. It hasn't even been open really much to the public yet. So Coral Bluffs open space, I know there's a lot more detail on that one that I just don't know off the top of my head. But that TOPS program and expanding the park system within the El Paso County area, great program, and they're going to continue to do that in 2023, and they've got some great projects kind of mapped out right now. So that's pretty exciting for the upcoming year for sure, especially if you're a person who likes to get outside and enjoy the trails like a lot of people do in Colorado, right? And then the last one, we got to talk about housing, right? So as you can imagine, we've had a ton of questions, fourth quarter of 2022 and already now starting first quarter 2023. What the heck is the housing market going to do here in the Pikes Peak area? Here are my quick predictions, and we're going to tell you more about this, kind of more of my thoughts and some other data that might back it up. But overall, I will say that we definitely have suppressed demand right now. So there's just not as many buyers out there. We talked about interest rates at nauseum, so we don't need to go into that right now. But there's just not as many people buying. Some seasonality too. It's usually kind of end of January before the buyer traffic starts to pick up just after the holiday dip. So we'll see what that looks like coming into, like I said, mid to late January and see if the demand picks up a little bit. One thing I will say is that I can guarantee you, based on the fact that people are still trying to come to Colorado Springs, is that once interest rates start to drop back down a little bit, who knows when that is? I think it's sometime in 2023. We've already seen them drop a good, relatively a good amount over the last couple of weeks. Went back up just a little bit this week. So all that to say, once those rates start to come back down and people have a little bit more purchasing power, I can practically guarantee that the demand level is going to go right back up. And I'll tell you, builders have stopped building right now or slowed way, way down because of the demand. They don't want to get caught with a bunch of houses they have that nobody wants to buy right now. So the demand or the inventory levels have gotten no better. So if we have the same inventory problems that we've had and all of a sudden demand does go back up, simple economics, we know supply and demand, that's probably going to push prices up a little bit. To how much, who really knows? But I would say that as soon as rates start to drop a little bit, we're going to see that demand level creep up some. So just kind of have that in the back of your mind if you're thinking about maybe a purchase in the Pikes Peak area. Maybe you're thinking about a move here. You kind of want to just know more about the housing market. Just kind of keep that in your mind. I will say that overall for 2023, I don't think we see a whole lot of appreciation. We've seen crazy appreciation over the last couple of years. Honestly, it's not healthy. Hopefully we don't see that. But I will say that I think that when you even it all out year over year, January 23 to January 24, I think we're probably about the same home values as what we are right now. I think maybe we have little kind of, just troughs and peaks throughout the year. But I think we probably don't have a lot of appreciation over 2023. So those are just, I always tell people, hey, housing wise, don't try to time the market. It never works for you whatsoever. If you like an area and the dollars make sense, buy a home there so you can enjoy the location that you want to be in. And if the dollars don't make sense, then hit the pause button and maybe don't do it right now. So like I said, we're going to talk a lot more about the housing side of things and kind of share some data of what kind of why we think the market's going to go the way it's going to go, at least in our local Colorado Springs, Pikes Peak area. So like I said, some quick predictions for 2023. Talked a little bit about the economic growth, change in the city leadership, concerns over some new development and what that's going to look like, some new and expanded parks and open spaces that are going to be pretty cool, and then just what that housing market's going to look like. So as always, if you have any questions at all about the Colorado Springs area, especially if you have anything that you want to ask about the housing area, we are licensed realtors here. We say we're all about everything Colorado Springs, where to eat, work, live, play, whatever it is. Reach out, call, text, email, hit us up in the comments. Look forward to talking with everybody soon.